Hello, everyone. This is Scratch and Jack, your host for the Amazing Scale Modelers Hangouts. This is your Sunday Hangout. Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus community of scale modelers of all shapes and sizes, interests, genres, and skill levels who like to share their tips and tricks with one another, learn more about their craft, and celebrate one another's scale modeling achievements. Amazing Scale Modeler is perhaps the fastest growing or the largest existing Google Plus community on Google Plus. Currently, we have 1,918 members. That's up from, it's the same as yesterday when we had the Across the Pond. And today, joining us are members of Across the Pond. Today are members of Amazing Scale Modelers and some of the best stalkers and trolls that the internet can offer to talk some scale modeling, enjoy some scale modeling camaraderie. And I'd like to bring some up before I introduce our panel of people who'd like to talk about this. I asked a question on the community about stashes, models that you have and you are storing and not really doing anything with. I had that up. We had 21 votes so far on it. I'm actually pretty surprised how few, because the past we had more on there. But I think over 50% like to go in severe debt with their hobby and buy a lot of model kits they never will build. I'm one of them. I'm guilty. But there are a few. Like coming up now is James. He likes to buy a kit and build it and then move forward from there and not have anything laying around.
Yeah, try to keep the stash down to a certain reasonable level. Doesn't mean it doesn't still collect, because it does collect, but just at a slower rate.
Right.
Well,
So
I've been working more on my tank. I had a very productive day today, getting more of the turret done.
Ooh, look at that! You even have the gun on there, a cannon.
Yeah, the main
Nice.
master weapon is on.
Nice. Really cool.
I can put some pictures up here.
Yeah, do that.
Go to screen share. Okay, this just shows what the turret looked like before it's assembled. That's my pieces.
Oh wow. Careful.
Partially assembled.
Now, why don't you go back go back to frame?
Yeah.
Can you zoom in on that? There we go. Okay, you got all those tabs that you need to fold over to glue. Now, right there where your cursor is right now, there's a curved portion.
Yeah.
And the tabs, I think, are curved. If you were to score them and bend them, will they bend and curved, or is it going to be straight?
It's good. Well, you can sort of get a bit of a curve on them. I do score them pretty much on a curve to try to even it out. But the curve on this is this way, so you got to round this piece before you glue it in place anyway to get the shape.
Especially that part up top there for the top part of the turret.
Yeah.
Or the bottom part of the turret, actually.
This bottom part here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of tabs.
It's a lot, and this was a real puzzle in figuring out the right sequence to do everything so you could get it all together.
Oh yeah, with my build right now, sequence is very important. You can't deviate from the instructions. The motorcycle I'm building is very specific. It's not like a car you can do sub-assemblies and out of order.
Yeah, when you look at glue tabs, like now there's a glue tab on this barrel. Now, the way I roll cylinders, I cut that glue tab off because I don't use it, because it leaves. What it leaves is it leaves a lap joint if I leave the glue tab on. It's always fine to square things, but on circular things, no. Get rid of the glue tab.
Interesting. So, and the sequence is important for this, then.
Oh yeah, very much so.
So
if you don't do everything in right order, you're going to end up boxed in and maybe not be able to assemble any further.
Yeah, you can paint your way into a corner.
Yeah.
Basically paint your way into a corner, right? That is really cool. Yeah.
So.
Very nice. Oh, interesting.
And that's with the turret mostly assembled, the barrel, glacis, and parts.
So would this be what level out of 5 levels for someone to do?
Out of 5 levels,
yeah.
This is about. The basic kit is about a 3.5 or a 4.
Oh wow!
But I've increased. So I've gone. I'm working this one at about 4.5 because I'm doing modifications.
Oh,
right, left, and center to upgrades. So.
Making your own aftermarket parts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
things like this ejection door, where you throw the expanded casings out, wasn't in the kit, so that had to be synthesized. And the addition of the coaxial machine gun in with the barrel was not with the kit, just the marking of the hole where it was. Things like that.
This is out of your comfort zone?
It is, because I haven't built a tank in 15 years.
Oh dear. Wow.
Styrene or other.
James is very well versed in tankology.
Yeah. Grew up with these things.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. Yeah.
I like that you toned down the color of the colors on some of the stuff.
Yeah.
Some of that bright stuff didn't look all that well to me. Now it looks fine.
Yeah. No, the color that looks like it, like what I showed you last night, Mike, was the CAD drawings.
Yeah.
So their coloring's a little different than the final product, but they're a little more brighter.
Yeah, they're considerably brighter.
Yeah.
That's the art that you add to the thing, is that you're able to see where it doesn't follow reality, so you know what to fix.
Yeah.
Very nice. What I find amazing is that your barrel is so perfectly straight too. You know.
Use good forms.
And
then I use a square and everything else to make sure it's square.
It even looks like the tread is kind of layered too, isn't it?
It is layered. Yeah.
Yeah, it's layered.
The main part of the track is double layer card, and then the tread is applied on top of that.
Oh, okay.
With track pads.
Track pads.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, boy, that barrel is really straight. Look at that. It's like a pencil. very good work.
The gun tube.
Yeah.
Very good. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing okay. I just got back from lunch and well, I don't know, late lunch, and I'm doing all right. I've been working on. I've been doing some of this work, getting some of the details in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the bench seats were the best.
Bucket seats in 1957 came in the Thunderbird.
Right.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the only production Ford that had bucket seats. Yeah, they didn't. There was no such thing as a console or anything. You had a glove box and be glad to have that. You had to push the car uphill both directions. The colors I've chosen, the box art shows a green, two-tone green, or a cop car. Mm-hmm. And this blue is the color I've chosen. This whole thing gets washed again, and all of it gets this light blue.
Uh-huh.
Then what probably looks like black on your screen is a dark royal blue. Mm-hmm. That goes on the two-tone on the bottom part. Mm-hmm. Below the trim. Mm-hmm. And so in order for everything to look the same, that's why I'm going to put the light blue down and then the blue, the dark blue over light blue, mm-hmm. so that underneath the blues are opaque. Mm-hmm. The dark blue is, but mm-hmm. the light blue is not. Mm-hmm. So I have to be very careful not to have anything underneath that's going to show. There's a lot of little pieces to this. It's a really good quality model, and I'm hoping that they do. They have a two-door hardtop. Well, it's a two-door sedan, two-door post, mm-hmm. and in the same year, and a lot of the parts are similar. And then I'm hoping that they come out with the Ranchero. That would be a great kit.
Ranchero or the El Camino?
A station wagon, a Ranchero, and a two-door. Then they need to come out with the four-door too.
Uh-huh. So which would you buy, the El Rancho or the El Camino or the Ranchero?
Well, I wouldn't. El Camino? No. No. At one time, I owned a 1960. What a piece of crap. Chevrolet. Chevrolet.
You're a Ford man through and through. That's why I put that question to you.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually factory trained on what used to be called Datsuns.
Now Nissans.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was any such thing as Nissan until at the dealership I was working at, we got sent to their school, and the school said Nissan at it, as did the warehouse. Mm-hmm. And I found out that, and then we took in something called a Nissan Patrol, and that was their answer to a Land Cruiser, the Toyota Land Cruiser.
Is it true that the Nissan company used the Datsun name because it sounded less Japanese?
Yes.
Is that the reason why? I thought I heard that somewhere, read that somewhere, that they didn't want to use Nissan.
Always Nissan. Yeah, when they came over here, they decided to use the Datsun name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, they eventually got that straightened out too.
Well, there was an advantage also to being listed in the phone book and having Datsun instead of Nissan too. One of the dealership, the salesman was explaining to us that there was an advantage to being up in the D's in the phone book in the one ads as opposed to being down in the N's. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think that would. There's all kinds of that stuff goes on with those people.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But the fun thing about building, for me, cars that when I was a kid, the '57 convertible. Uh-huh. The guy that we all looked up to, that we ran around with, he had one. He was we were 14, 15 years old, and he was 18, and he had a car, and it was a '57 Ford convertible. And we rode around with him and thought we were quite some deal, and that brings back the memories for me. I actually owned a '56, and that was a piece of crap too. That was because
when it comes to models, you don't. I can't say I've seen you done a Chevy.
I don't.
You don't? Okay.
I have one. I have a Chevy pickup that I bought to steal decals on, the Texaco decals, for a cab over Ford gasoline tanker that I'm building. So there is one model sitting here without its decals, or decals, as some people say.
Well, how you doing, Heath?
I'm very good, thank you, Jack. I've had nothing but trouble with getting on the Hangouts with my new pad. So I cracked open the old laptop.
Well, it doesn't look like you're packing to move. It looks like you're still settled in rather comfortably.
I've been packing. I mean, I've got boxes all over the place. I mean, here, I'll take my camera. There's my Bandai.
It looks like your forehead.
There's your Bandai. Okay.
There's my Bandai. There's my Star Trek. There's my Star Wars ones there. All together.
Okay. They're in the pocket. Oh, okay.
They're all in boxes, and they're getting ready to go.
I stand corrected. So you're not really working on anything. You're just busy packing away.
Hang on. That's not necessarily so. Down a good modeler.
I can see it now. Honey, my back hurts. Can I rest? Sure, Heath. Why don't you rest a little bit? And he's modeling.
My finished airbrush.
That's nice.
That is really nice. That's your nice airbrush. Very smooth. Very smooth.
It took a bit for me to kind of get the hang of it, because a friend of mine was helping me at the time, and he's saying, keep it back 20 centimeters. Keep it back 20 centimeters from the actual model. I'm going, what? 20. I'm going, what? What? Don't you just get the airbrush and just go, shh, shh, shh. No, if you do that, you get bubbles. Okay. And of course, the old metho for cleaning the airbrush.
Oh, yeah. I did a lot of that today myself.
Oh, God, I'll tell you what. And just setting up to do airbrushing is like 10 minutes.
This is why a phone booth, listen to me, a paint booth is good to have. If you have like a self-standing one, you can have your compressor on a shelf below it, and you won't have to set up anywhere. But
well, let me put it this way. At my new house, there's actually a carport, a garage. So I'll be able to do my painting.
And even in the wintertime, when it gets down, you can even do the painting in the wintertime when it gets down to 80 degrees. Yes.
But no, I've still got a hell of a lot to do. I've got to put away it's not just my model kits, but I've got to pack away my die cast. I've got to pack away my modeling books. And the one thing I don't have, is boxes. I need boxes.
Well, come on up. We got plenty.
Here. Just come get them. Throw them in the back.
I'll just pay $1,000 for a box.
I'll throw them in the back of your ute, and you can take all the boxes you want.
But the thing is that it's going to take me a long time. I think it's going to take me a long time to pack everything away, because it's just, oh man, what to keep, what to get rid of. Ugh.
Well, do you have to do it all at one time, or could you do it in stages?
I'm doing it in stages at the moment. Like today, later on today, I'm probably going to start packing away my die cast, which I've got a storage box for. And then after that, I'll probably start going in through my cadenza and taking all the kits out, and then trying to find I've got a big box right over here on my left, on my right, which might be able to fit several kits in.
Mm-hmm. An American tradition was to go behind the liquor stores and grab the empty liquor boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we can do that with the supermarkets and stuff like that. boxes made with all the processed stuff and everything like that. They put their boxes outside in a nice big rectangle box. Help yourself to the boxes. Yes, thank you. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I might be offline when we move. I might be offline for about a week or so, depending on how I can get when I can get the internet up. But
I wonder where our friend Jamie is. Jamie Shiner.
Yes.
He moved, and it's. He said he'll be all finished up probably by the end of January, and it's already what, middle of March.
Oh, he's been on. I've seen him.
He was going to take a slow trip on the coast road.
Yeah, he's going on vacation. Yeah.
Yeah, he's going on vacation. He wasn't. He was moving, but he wasn't going to go directly home. He was going to take
okay. I kind of miss him.
Road trip.
I kind of miss him because he used to fill up an hour rather well on the Hangouts.
I saw a post from him just yesterday. He's working on his snow speeder.
Oh,
He just painted the figures. He just painted the figures. So that was
Speaking of snow speeders, how you doing there, Jay?
I always hated the term snow speeder. I mean, why would you build a device that flies specifically for snow?
Oh, right.
You know?
You could get an old Model T, put some skis on it, and put a propeller on back, and then you've got a snow speeder.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, earlier I was telling you about this YouTube channel, and I think it's called. You know what? I can't remember. The couple of guys are doing like these ultra nerdy shows about Star Trek ships with all their specifications and whatnot. And I can tell you the one that I did watch was the Daedalus class, and that's what you're working on. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. I'm taking the hamster ball that I got, and I covered up all the little holes on the inside with a strip of plastic, and now I am taking smaller rectangular, completely square pieces and putting them into the slots. So that it'll make it a lot easier to sand, and got to have some sort of a backing to it in the first place. I'll still be using either red putty or Bondo or something on it, but
those are some lucky hamsters there. I wish my balls can go to outer space too.
Oh yeah.
You might use a rat. Rats in space.
Rats in space, yes. As to the question you posted, it was a little hard for me to answer because some of the things I buy I intend to keep and not build. Others I will eventually build, if I live long enough. But yeah, I think going heavily into debt it's pretty well. So.
Yep. And it's nice to.
But we did have what I find even more interesting is let's see, I think it's still one person who is just a groupie. One vote for a groupie.
Well, that's
so
cool.
That's kind of nice. There's kind of nice. There's modeling groupies out there. I feel like a Beatle already.
It's nice to see you again, Jay. You're sounding good. You're sounding well.
I am doing. I'm doing better. I was telling people last night. I've had a few trips to the doctor to be checking up on a few problems, and I still don't know the results of those. But nothing life-threatening or anything. So I've just been having to take it easy for a few weeks, which is not like me. I don't like. Deanne is always yelling at me. You're not supposed to be moving that stuff, and I'm just I gotta get up and move around. I can't stand just laying around.
Sure.
So that's been.
Well, you're being very inspirational with Daedalus. I mean, between you and Ken Skiffington, it's just sort of like, I feel as though I got to live up to my name and do some scratch building. And
weren't you supposed to be doing a 350 scale Excelsior, Jack?
Yeah, but I think I got to graduate into that because that's it's overwhelming for one, and I just had a thought that perhaps I will take a community college class for AutoCAD. I think they probably have something like that. I can take.
Yeah.
Community college. It cost me about $400, but I think it will be well spent. So I'm really interested in also 3D printing and probably modeling a little. Basically being a Steve Neal.
Mm-hmm.
Does a little of everything. Does a little of everything. Well, although I'm the sci-fi guy, I've gotten a number of cars under my belt and a number of airplanes under my belt, and now I have a motorcycle and a tank. So speaking of which, I'd like to show a little more. I spent all day airbrushing. Like 6 parts. For the Ducati 916, and my friend here, Mike, suggested that I do a coat of yellow because red is not an opaque color, as he said, or says.
Ooh.
And it came out to be a very honest red. I have to admit that in person. The backside of this is just primed. Can't really tell on camera, but it's pinkish. It has a pinkish tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the yellow enhances the red, because red, as Mike says, is a translucent color. So this is all I did today. Just doing this.
Very nice.
Nice. It looks
I
nice.
think it turned out very well.
Thank you.
Are you going to put clear over it?
Oh sure. And I'm gonna do the gloss, high gloss.
It's really gonna pop for you. You're gonna be amazed.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a gloss on there because what I have in stock right now is a semi or partial gloss, semi-gloss. But I'd like to do a really high gloss on this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing, just painting all day. And I did get a kit included in that. It looks like I'm gonna have to prime this again because my primer's so thin that I'm realizing that I got to do multiple prime. I'm doing this.
Oh, hello, there it is.
Yep.
There it is.
And I got the blue for it too. I've just got to get some metallizer. What's that?
Didn't you get a pacer as well? One of those Wayne's World?
Yes. Oh yes. I went to the RC shop yesterday, hunting for a bronze paint for again the motorcycle, and this is actually brass. This is actually brass.
God, look, Jack. Whoever said that your out of your comfort zone kit is a bike, I beg to differ.
Well, I'm doing two. I did the tank, and now I'm doing this. They both are out of my comfort zone, but so I had to get that paint, and I ended up getting this little puppy.
A pacer.
And
now, you realize that the Wayne's World Pacer is blue with flames on the side.
I was just going to say, at the hobby shop, there was a young guy there who was probably born around the time that the movie was made. He thought it was yellow. And I did my research. It's a powder baby blue. And it has flames coming off the front wheel. Just a little bit.
Yeah. Just near the front fender.
I've been wanting to buy this kit, but at $25, I couldn't see the worth of it. But when it got down to 16, I'm like, okay. I got that, but that's going to be one of those little mini dioramas too. I'm going to have a shopping mall parking lot. It's going to be sitting in the parking lot.
And then you have to find an AMC, not a pacer, you'll need a gremlin. Turn it into a patrol car.
Yeah.
Oh, was the patrol cars at the mall? Yeah, they were gremlins, weren't they? Yeah.
Yes, they were. Oh, my goodness. Mall security it said on them.
That would be pretty funny, but they don't make a gremlin model kit.
Yes,
No,
they do.
they're not.
They do?
Yeah, it's just that they're out of production. I'm
Oh.
sorry, it takes a while to get one, but they make a 2-in-1 dragster gremlin and a regular just gremlin kit. The box art usually shows a gremlin in competition orange.
Oh. Uh-huh.
But AMT, I think it was AMT is the one that produced a gremlin.
Oh, those dreadful words, those dreadful letters, AMT.
Well, I got I have got to do a lot of house cleaning in several weeks. On the weekends, I'm going to be not doing very much modeling. I hope to be able to get something done during the week. But I got to start scratch building. I would like to do that, and yeah, get another Mustang. Get another Mustang done. I need that. And this Mustang kit, I think it's a 2-in-1. It's just a special edition, new tooling on it, and I thought I saw some parts, some sprues that had duplicated parts.
Oh, that's like my Camaro.
There's a lot of freaking sprues to it. It had like about 12. It has 12 sprues to it.
My Camaro's a special edition too because it's a 2-in-1.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm finding that Revell model kits for cars are actually pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
The monograms are pretty damn bad.
some monograms.
No, you're bad. I'm not a monogram.
Hey, wait a minute. This station wagon is a monogram kit.
Well, this is sort of monogram. This is an MPC kit.
No, MPC is not monogram. No.
Well, now both are owned by around two, aren't they?
They're owned by Revell, as far as I know.
Well, I think what was that? The Dukes of Hazzard car? I don't even know what the.
Well, round two might own them, but this monogram 57 station wagon is the tooling for a lot of the parts exactly the same as a Revell 2-door post. So one says Revell on it, the other one says monogram. I think they're schizophrenic and don't know what they're doing. Multiple personalities. I think the company has multiple personalities.
Yeah.
That could be, but I'll tell you something. When I did the Dukes of Hazzard car, the 25 scale, it took me almost 2 months to do because I hated coming to the bench to finish it. But on the tail of that, I got 2 Tamiya kits, one the tank and now the motorcycle, and Tamiya is a dream.
Yeah.
It's a dream.
All of my Formula 1 kits, except for a couple, are Tamiya. All of my Formula 1 kits are Tamiya, except for a couple, which is the Fujimi Ferrari F190 and the Ring FW14, which is both the 92 one that Nigel Mansell won. And I got myself another F1 kit. This is a Jordan. This is a lovely green and blue. And all you Americans might know what the 7-Up is.
Do you know what the 7-Up is?
Yes, it's lemonade. My favorite.
Well,
Well, it's lime lemon soda pop is what it is.
Yes. But it's very nice.
Lime.
But that should be
Well,
isn't Tamiya though? Tamiya kit's just a dream to put together. Everything fits, and the flash is very minimal, very minimal. Wow, it's very detailed too.
mm-hmm.
That's what my challenge was for this build, is because of the number of parts with the tank, and with the motorcycle. there is no way you can deviate from the instructions and get it done correctly. Maybe the tank, yeah, you could, but not this motorcycle, because it's layers upon layers upon layers.
I haven't seen the tank. I haven't seen the tank, so I don't know how the tank. Yeah, no, I haven't seen your tank.
Oh, okay. Well, I have pictures. I actually took it to the office for a week and a half, and I made it back home.
Whoa! Now look at that. Oh, complete with the diorama. My God. Yeah. Tell me, is that real grass?
Actually, it's floral moss. So yes, it's real.
Good God.
It's floral, yeah. and there's stones from the back valley behind my house.
Jack, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Forget the starships. Stick with the car. Stick with the tank.
Forget the starship. I haven't built one yet.
Forget the starships. Forget the starships. Go for the cars. Go for the bikes. Go for the tanks.
Yeah. Well, so that's just. I haven't built the starship yet, but I'm working my way up to it. But I think these Tamiya kits are helping because the number of parts can be overwhelming. I don't think any of the kits that I'm doing right now is for a beginner or light at heart. And the worst part about the motorcycle is it's got side panels and it's going to hide all this work. You know?
Oh, those Ducatis, they're very unique in the way that they've made their bikes because they haven't got the third fork. They haven't got the second fork on the back wheel. It's just it's one fork less. That back wheel. The only reason why that back wheel works is because they got where the tire is. That's where the chain is. That's how it's able to. That's how it's able to stay on.
Single swing arm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with the rest of the bike is how it works.
For racing, BMW invented that single swing arm.
Yes,
monoshock and single swing arm. BMW did that for their racing bikes, and everybody else followed along.
Honda have done it. Suzuki have done it. Same with Kawasaki, even Yamaha.
Well, I don't have the. Is there a picture of the wheel on there? I don't know. Oh heck.
Well, anyway, gents, I must have to go. I've got to start packing again. So okay. I've got to start packing.
Oh, sure. Just show up and take off.
Well, look, if I don't get this stuff done, it's going to be flaming left like this. And I'm not leaving my models like this.
I've got one a copper-colored rear wheel.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you later.
I almost did mine copper. If I didn't find the paint that, see you later, Heath. If I didn't find the paint that I did, I would have done mine in copper too. This is.
If you lay brass over copper, it looks like bronze.
What's that?
Brass over copper looks like bronze. Bronze is sort of a redder.
But brass. This is actually called bronze, but it's whatever.
Yeah.
This is the picture I was showing Mike, and I was explaining to him that color, and it's coming through pretty green, and that color is a Tamiya safety orange and a Vallejo chrome mixed together, and it does cast a interesting green hue, but in this picture it's too dark. In person, it's much lighter.
Yeah. Did you say you used Tamiya bronze?
No, Tamiya safety orange.
I mean on the fork in the back. On the wheel. I'm sorry, on the back wheel. You said.
It's testers.
Oh, okay.
It's this tester's small little jar, and it says brass on there.
Yeah.
Well, this is the copper one. But I was looking for it, and I actually found this color first. I don't know if it's coming through the camera.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an aquamarine metal flake. This will make a nice car color, actually, a muscle car color. But the paint says it's a brass. But to me, it looks bronze.
This is what I use. This type of stuff is what I. This one here says, this one claims to be old bronze. This is AK True Metal.
Yeah.
Oh.
And the copper I used was in this tube here. And you can you have to wait quite a while for these oil-based ones to dry, but once they do, then you can clear over.
Isn't that the truth? The testers kept nicking up, and it's really soft as it cures. But even a day later, when I squeezed on the rubber on it, I still had to touch up parts to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there's a bolt that goes through the axle, and then there's a nut that held it on. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's focus.
Yeah.
Focus there. See, there's a nut. I had to paint that too. So that's still sniff test, still wet. Yeah, I don't. There's the primer was Vallejo, Vallejo gray.
Yeah, the tester's enamel takes forever to dry usually.
Mm-hmm.
So
finding that out.
But
to me,
hair dryers. They use hair dryers to speed that up, and I think you take a chance of wrinkling your paint if you do that. It needs to outgas naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, again, even this morning I had to do some touch-ups on it when I squeezed on the rubber. And I'm expecting the front tire to do the same thing.
I saw good effect. The guys took an old metal bread box, put a light bulb in there, like a 40-watt light bulb, sort of making his own thing. And put body inside there, closed it, turned on the light for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
And then he turned off the light and let it sit overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Came out
it
really
warms it enough to make it gas off faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The automotive shops used to bake your car under lamps.
Yeah.
And you get baked on enamel. And that used to be a very hard finish, an excellent finish for an automobile. Very stone resistant.
I actually paint under a 500-watt halogen bulb to give me the cleanest light so that I can see flaws in the paint so I can touch up better. Anyway, and I have a box fan that I kind of cradled between like walls on either side of it to create a wind tunnel. And then I put the light inside the wind tunnel, and it made it pretty warm, and it dried this even the acrylic pretty fast.
Cool.
So yeah, it was just a little bit. It wasn't enough heat to make the plastic soft, obviously, but I'd say it was like increasing the basement temperature by probably about 10 degrees.
Yeah.
So because the basement was like it's 50-some degrees down there. Now with the weather breaking, it's going to be nice, so we can do some real painting with enamels and stuff. I'm looking forward to it. But hey, I like the acrylic paints. It's just a matter of learning to use them. One time I asked, this was a long while ago, Simon Merckx. He said he painted with acrylics until he got hooked on enamels. He says the enamels are much more brilliant, but I think the process is different between enamels and acrylic. Don't you guys agree?
There's a big difference in processes.
Yeah.
I still paint with lacquers, automotive lacquers, because a lot of cars out on the street are painted with lacquers. Plus, custom paint jobs used to be done with lacquers. More than the acrylic enamels, which are, the choices of fancy colors in the acrylic enamels back when was not that great. Your factory colors, their Chrysler was an acrylic enamel. Ford was lacquers. And they didn't spray paint all the time. Not all cars were spray painted. They were dipped.
They were dipped. Yeah.
There's a water tank with a layer of paint across the top.
Mm-hmm.
And they dipped them with the zinc dip to stop the rust. Then they dipped them in a primer, and then they dipped them in the paint.
Mm-hmm.
Then they baked the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, powder coat works very similar to it.
Yes.
Powder coat.
Did Jay left, huh?
Yeah, Jay left.
Yeah.
The powder is just naturally attracted to the metal, and they powder it like you would baby powder yourself.
Yeah, it's electrostatic. Electrostatic distribution. It puts it on the metal. Yeah. I believe the negative charge goes on the part, and the positive charge is in the gun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, isn't that interesting? And then they just throw it in an oven, a big oven.
Yeah.
How many degrees would that be?
Anyone who would like to do maybe some model parts or something that way can look up the Eastwood Company. And they have powder coating things for the homeowner stuff. Eastwood is an automotive. Well, they're kind of tool shop and processes and products for cars. And restorers, people who restore cars. But Eastwood is easy to look up, and powder coating is easy to look up, and there's little guns and little things made for them so you can do little small parts.
How hot of an oven do they put that powder coat in?
400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh. It's like baking a pizza.
For metal parts, for plastic parts, I don't know the temperature. There's some mention. I didn't read it because I decided I didn't want the powder all over everything. So I decided I wasn't going to try it. But there's people that do it outdoors, out in their backyard all the time. So powder coating. Not me. And you can powder coat certain plastic parts. There's a special paint they sell, and then you powder coat on that metallized paint. And but as far as baking, I don't know how much temperature. 400 degrees plastic shouldn't melt too fast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure. That takes somebody else's part.
I would be truly impressed with James if he did powder coating in his apartment.
That'd be a challenge.
Neighbors.
It would be a challenge. But that's not so far from. I've seen some videos people doing vaccu-forming using their ovens. I don't even know what the temperature. I think it's like 200 some. It's not very high at all.
No, I think it's like 200 degrees because I did some here, and it's like 200 degrees. And you just got to wait for it to soften up where it starts to bow down a bit, and then transfer it to your vacuum form machine.
And I think it would be also a combination of the temperature and the thickness of your is it acrylic?
It's plastic.
Yeah,
it's styrene.
You can do acrylic. You can vacuum form. There's vinyl, acrylic, and poly something or other that vacuum forms.
And if you got a couple $1,000, you can buy a vacuum form machine.
Mattel made one that had just a light bulb in it, and
really?
Oh yeah, there's some small ones. go to Micromart and you'll find the small, expensive ones. There's some small cheap ones. Someone just came out with another small cheap one. There's a vacuum form machine.
There's mine, $35.
Well, you can make your, yeah. I thinking that maybe even my trusty little 500-watt halogen would do the job too.
Well, hold a piece of clear plastic up over it and see if it.
Yeah.
See if it withers.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a pretty small one, James. They can come very many different sizes.
Oh, I got this one. They make them smaller than this too, but
even
this
smaller than that.
They make it smaller. They make one's about half the size again, but I got this one is about the right size for 99% of the things that I'm doing. So.
Oh. Yeah, well, it's easy. Well, it's an easy thing to make too. Hook up to your vacuum cleaner. If you have a shop vac would be the best probably. Do you use shop vac for that or?
No, I have an old vacuum cleaner that I use for this, and it works perfectly fine.
Nice.
You don't need it. You don't. It only has to pull vacuum for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a short period of time.
It doesn't need a huge amount of vacuum to do it.
No.
In fact, some machines you can buy just got a hand pump.
Yeah, there's a hand pump. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like,
Actually, there was the Mattel thing maker one. It had a hand vacuum pump on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took that. I had one of those, and I took it apart, and because the pump part didn't work. But when I took all of that stuff off, the nozzle of the actual part that had the piston inside it fit perfectly over my shop vac.
Yeah.
So so I use that. But I've built probably 5 or 6 vaccu-form machines, and they're real easy to build.
Mm-hmm.
And even the heating element, I've used space heaters. I've used heat guns. I've used the oven.
Used space heaters for plastic too.
Yeah, but I'm talking about intentionally softening the plastic here.
I couldn't think of it. That's not such a bad idea, actually.
3D printer people and vacuum form people, we use a hell of a lot of bulldog clips.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I moved to the other computer because the camera on the one downstairs was freezing and causing trouble for me.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not so difficult. It doesn't take much temperature to soften the plastic enough. So you're talking like space heaters, and you're talking, of course, within realm of safety, of course. Use your common sense not to catch the carpet on fire, using icing ovens being used, and of course even light bulbs you're saying can be used. That's interesting.
You could probably, if an EC bake oven was big enough, you could probably use it to heat plastic.
Well, I gave up playing with dolls when I was a kid, so.
Yeah, but actually that does bring up a good idea. If you have a couple of regular incandescent bulbs about that far away from each other and just held the plastic in its frame in between the two.
Yeah.
That might heat it up enough to soften.
I bet you it would.
Yeah, especially for small
When I was forming 1/4-inch thick chromophore plastic, I used the heating element. I went to the store and bought a replacement heating element for a 250 volt dryer, and I put 110 to it. 110 to it, 115, and that got it just hot enough to where I could bend my plastics.
Yeah.
And
a 1/4 inch is pretty damn thick for I mean, I can't see. I can't see jackhammers trying to vacuum for me.
I was doing right angle bends on big chunks of plastic. I was making flumes for long tom, for gold mining, riffles, and that I was making 4-foot flumes out of Comaport is one of the plastic things that sign makers use to make signs.
Yeah.
It's hot. It has kind of a plastic foam inside, 2 slick sheets. Made in Germany, I think my stuff was. Working with plastics, there's plastics that it will go back to its original shape when it's heated. And then if you want to form that plastic into some other form, you heat it and form it. And then when it cools down, it stays in that. But if you heat it again, it'll go back to its original shape. Like if you're making, if you want to make something with a lot of colors, and you have something that's original shape is square, you drill it, put the dies in, and then heat it and form it into like a plate or a dish. And of course, if they heat it again, it'll go back to being a square.
Well, I know in some modeling circles that vacuum forming is indispensable. I just haven't, I can't say I haven't come across a need to do that.
Well, the people who want
canopies.
very accurate canopies for their
Canopies are the big one.
That's the main thing, canopies. And windscreens for motorcycles, that's another thing that a lot of people do the vacuum forming, because you end up with a much thinner, shinier, prettier,
more realistic looking,
more realistic looking plexiglass. Is supposed to look like plexiglass, and it does. Where the injection molded plastic is usually too thick and doesn't have the right shape.
Yeah, and it's wavy. You can't really see through it.
Yeah. So a lot of guys replace their windscreens on motorcycles or canopies on aircraft with vacuum-formed plastic.
Yeah. If you get heavy into scratch building, you're going to want a vacuum former.
A lot.
I don't see it. Then again, we'll
Well,
see.
at the RC shop, those bodies that you saw for the RC cars, those are all vacuum formed.
Yeah. They sell a lot of those on the internet. Yeah. Well, you know something, fellas, we should be sent to jail. We murdered another hour. Once again, every 2 weeks we commit the same crime and come on to the internet, talk about scale modeling. I'd like to thank you for joining us with this current episode of the Hangouts. If this is your first time for this Hangout and want to view the other Hangouts of the past, just go to my channel on YouTube at Scratch and Jack and go ahead and like this and perhaps even subscribe. And be sure to join us in 2 weeks. We'll have another edition of Across the Pond on Saturday, and on the following Sunday, like tonight, it'll be the Sunday Hangout. I'd like to thank each of my folks that stopped by. Hi, thanks for stopping by, James, and it's coming along. That tank is coming along, and
thank you.
Pretty cool stuff. And thanks for sharing. And also, Jim, I'm glad you're feeling better. And like to see the data list get done. This should be very interesting. And Mike, thanks for your wisdom is limitless. Thanks for sharing what you've got to share too. This is your host, Scratch and Jack. Good night, everyone. Happy modeling.